Welcome to Limitless Success TV, the place where we break down the secrets of financial success and help you break free from the habits that are silently keeping you broke. Today, we're diving into something that could change the course of your financial future forever. Let me ask you something. Why do some people struggle financially their entire lives, while others seem to accumulate wealth effortlessly? Is it luck? Is it talent? Or is there something deeper at play? We've all seen people with high salaries, doctors, lawyers, corporate executives, who, on the surface, should be thriving financially, but behind the scenes, many of them are drowning in debt, living paycheck to paycheck, and constantly stressed about money. On the other hand, we also see people who earn far less but manage to build real, lasting wealth. So, what's the real difference? It's not how much money you make, it's how you manage it. Most people don't realize that financial success isn't just about earning more, it's about how you think about money, how you use it, and most importantly, the habits you develop around it. And here's where it gets interesting. There are 6 specific habits that keep people trapped in financial struggle. These habits act like invisible chains, holding people back from ever reaching financial freedom. But the wealthy? They don't just avoid these habits, they actively do the opposite. Now, you might be thinking, I don't have bad money habits. I work hard, I save, and I pay my bills. But here's the thing. What if the financial advice you've followed your entire life is actually keeping you poor? We've all been taught certain things about money since childhood. Work hard, and you'll be successful. Save your money, and you'll be financially secure. Owning a home is the smartest investment you can make. But let's be honest, if these beliefs were true, wouldn't more people be wealthy? Instead, we see millions struggling, despite following these so-called rules of money. So today, I challenge you to do something bold. Question everything you've been taught about money. Because the truth is, most people have been given a financial blueprint that sets them up for mediocrity at best and financial failure at worst. They've been trained to think about money in a way that keeps them stuck in a cycle of earning and spending, working harder but never getting ahead. That ends today. By the end of this video, you'll understand the 6 dangerous habits that are keeping you financially stuck, why the wealthy avoid these traps, and what they do instead. The mindset shift that can put you on the path to real financial success. But before we jump in, I need to warn you. Some of what you're about to hear may go against everything you've been taught about money. Some of it might even make you uncomfortable. But if you truly want to change your financial future, you need to be willing to unlearn the myths that have been holding you back. So, are you ready to challenge what you think you know about money? Are you ready to break free from the financial habits that have been keeping you stuck? Because if you watch this video until the end and apply what you learn, I guarantee you'll start seeing money and your financial future very differently. Let's get started. Habit 1. Spending everything you earn. Most people assume that making more money will solve their financial problems. They believe that if they could just land a higher-paying job, get a promotion, or start a profitable business, they would finally be financially secure. But history and real-life examples prove otherwise. Take the case of Mike Tyson, one of the highest-paid athletes in history. At his peak, he had amassed over $400 million. Yet within a few years of retiring, he was bankrupt. Why? Because his spending habits grew as fast as his income, or even faster. Lavish mansions, luxury cars, extravagant parties, and reckless spending drained his fortune. He earned a king's ransom but never built lasting wealth because he didn't control his spending. This isn't just a modern problem. Ancient Rome had its fair share of reckless spenders. One of the most infamous was Emperor Nero, who squandered vast amounts of wealth on unnecessary luxuries. He hosted extravagant feasts where guests dined on dishes made entirely of silver and gold, spending fortunes on self-indulgence rather than investing in the prosperity of his empire. His reckless spending contributed to Rome's economic troubles and, ultimately, his downfall. The lesson here is clear. No matter how much money you make, if you don't control your spending, you'll never be financially free. So why do so many people fall into this trap? It's called lifestyle inflation, the tendency to increase spending as income rises. Let's say you start making $50,000 a year. You manage to live comfortably within that income. Then, you get a raise and now make $70,000. Instead of saving or investing the extra $20,000, you upgrade your lifestyle, buying a nicer car, moving into a bigger apartment, and dining at more expensive restaurants. Soon, you find yourself in the exact same position as before, living paycheck to paycheck. Despite the higher income, it's a dangerous cycle. The problem isn't how much you earn, it's how much you keep. Now, let's look at how the wealthy avoid this trap and make their money work for them. One of the most powerful principles the rich follow is, pay yourself first. This simple but life-changing rule means that before you spend a single dollar on rent, groceries, or entertainment, you set aside a portion of your income for savings and investments. Think of it like this. Imagine you're a farmer. If you harvest crops and consume everything, you have nothing left to plant for the next season. But if you set aside a portion of your harvest as seeds, you ensure future growth. Money works the same way. If you spend everything you earn, you'll always be financially vulnerable. But if you save and invest a portion of it, your wealth will multiply over time. Let's take a look at one of the wealthiest men in history, Warren Buffett. Even though he is worth billions, he still lives in the same modest house he bought in 1958 for $31,500. Instead of upgrading his lifestyle with every financial windfall, he reinvested his earnings, letting his money grow and compound. This mindset is what separates the truly wealthy from those who only look rich. So, how can you start implementing this in your own life? Set up an automatic savings system. Have a portion of your paycheck go directly into a savings or investment account before you even see it. Even if it's just $50 or $100 per paycheck. The key is consistency. Over time, these small amounts grow into real wealth. Remember, wealth isn't built by how much you make, but by how much you keep and grow. So ask yourself, are you planting the seeds for a wealthy future? Or are you eating your entire harvest? Habit 2. Confusing a house or a car with an investment. For decades, we've been told that buying a house is the ultimate sign of financial success. Parents, teachers, and even financial experts have drilled this idea into our heads. Buying a home is the best investment you'll ever make. But what if I told you that this belief has kept millions of people trapped in a financial cycle they can't escape? Let's think about this logically. An investment is something that puts money into your pocket. A liability is something that takes money out. Now, ask yourself, does your house generate income for you? Or does it drain money from your bank account every single month? Let's take an example from history, the Roman elite and their obsession with lavish villas. Wealthy Romans believed that owning massive estates was a sign of power and status. But here's what happened. While they were pouring money into marble columns, elaborate gardens, and extravagant parties, they were also sinking deeper into financial ruin. Many of them failed to invest in productive assets, like trade, business ventures, or land that could actually generate income. When times got tough, these villas became a burden rather than an asset, forcing many once powerful families into bankruptcy. Fast forward to today, and we see a similar story repeating itself. People buy massive homes they can barely afford, believing they've made a smart financial decision. But the reality? Their mortgage payments, property taxes, insurance costs, and maintenance fees are quietly draining their wealth month after month. Now, let's talk about cars, the second biggest financial trap most people fall into. Have you ever noticed that wealthy individuals don't always drive the latest, flashiest cars? There's a reason for that. The moment you drive a brand new car off the lot, it loses value. And yet, people continue to take out high-interest loans on luxury cars, thinking they are upgrading their status, while in reality, they are simply upgrading their financial burden. Even some of the wealthiest people in history have understood this principle. Sam Walton, the billionaire founder of Walmart, drove an old pickup truck for most of his life. Warren Buffett, one of the richest men in the world, has owned the same modest car for years. Why? Because they know that a car is not an investment, it's an expense. They preferred to put their money into real assets that generate wealth. So, how do the rich avoid this trap? Simple. They prioritize assets over liabilities. Instead of buying expensive homes too soon, they invest in income-generating properties that produce rental income. Instead of financing a brand new car, they use their money to buy stocks, businesses, or real estate that create cash flow. They don't spend money just to look rich. They build assets that allow them to be rich. Before making any big financial purchase, ask yourself one question. Will this put money in my pocket? Or will it take money out? If it's a liability, wait until your investments can cover the cost. That's how real wealth is built. Habit 3. Fear of investing. Fear of investing is one of the biggest reasons people remain stuck in financial struggle. Most people avoid it because they believe it's too complicated, too risky, or something that only the wealthy can afford to do. But here's a harsh truth. Not investing is far riskier than investing. Think about it. Every year, inflation eats away at the value of your money. If you let your cash sit in a savings account, it's like watching it shrink right before your eyes. $100 today won't buy you the same amount of goods and services 10 years from now. While you may feel like you're being safe by keeping your money in the bank, what's really happening is that you're losing purchasing power. Let's take a lesson from history. In the ancient world, gold and land were the most valuable assets a person could own. The rulers of Mesopotamia, Egypt, and Rome understood that hoarding currency alone was a losing game. The wealthiest people of those times invested in land, trade, and valuable commodities, things that increased in value over time. They didn't let their wealth sit idle, they put it to work. Fast forward to modern times, and the same principle holds true. The rich don't work for money, they make money work for them. That's why wealthy individuals don't just stash their earnings in a savings account, they invest in assets that generate returns. They understand that the key to financial freedom isn't just about how much money they earn, it's about how efficiently they make that money grow. Take Warren Buffett, for example. When he was just a young boy, he started investing small amounts of money into stocks. Over time, he let his investments grow and compound, making him one of the richest men in history. He didn't achieve wealth overnight, and he certainly didn't let fear stop him. Instead, he educated himself, took calculated risks, and remained patient. But here's where most people go wrong. They equate investing with gambling. They think it's about luck, timing the market, or making big bets. That's a dangerous misconception. Smart investing isn't about making reckless moves. It's about strategic wealth building. The wealthy follow 3 key principles. They invest in assets that appreciate over time, stocks, real estate, and businesses that generate cash flow. They diversify their investments so they're not overly dependent on one source of income. They educate themselves, reading books, studying market trends, and seeking advice from experts. Fear often stems from a lack of knowledge. If investing seems intimidating, it's because you haven't learned enough about it yet. But here's the good news. Investing isn't something reserved for financial geniuses or the ultra-rich. Anyone can start, and you don't need a fortune to begin. If you're new to investing, start small. Open a brokerage account and put $50 into an index fund. Don't worry about making the perfect choice, just get started. The key is to take action. Learn as you go, and let time work in your favor. Because in the end, the biggest risk isn't in investing and losing, it's in never investing at all. Habit 4. Relying on a single source of income. For most people, financial security is tied to just one thing, their job. They wake up every morning, go to work, collect their paycheck, and repeat this cycle for years. But here's the terrifying truth. If that single source of income disappears, their entire financial world collapses overnight. Yet, most people don't realize just how dangerous this is until it's too late. Imagine you're standing on a tightrope with no safety net underneath. As long as you stay balanced, you're fine. But the moment something unexpected happens, an economic downturn, a company layoff, or even a personal emergency, you have nothing to catch you. That's exactly how it works when you depend on a single income stream. Now, let's look at how the wealthy think differently. They never rely on just one source of income, because they know that financial security comes from diversification. They understand that putting all their eggs in one basket is a dangerous gamble. This idea isn't new. Even in ancient times, the wealthiest individuals built multiple income streams. Take Zhang Qian, a Chinese explorer and diplomat during the Han Dynasty. His success wasn't just because of his official government position. He expanded the famous Silk Road, creating multiple trade networks between China and Central Asia. He understood that relying on just one trade route was a risk. So he built alternative channels of commerce, ensuring wealth flowed from multiple directions. The same principle applies today. The rich create multiple streams of income so that even if one dries up, they still have others sustaining them. Look at Elon Musk. He didn't just build one company, he built Tesla, SpaceX, Neuralink, and the Boring Company. Each of these businesses generates revenue, ensuring that if one venture struggles, the others keep money flowing in. Or consider Oprah Winfrey. She didn't just stop at hosting a talk show. She invested in TV networks, book deals, speaking engagements, and media production. If she had relied solely on her talk show, she would have been financially vulnerable when it ended. But because she built multiple income sources, her wealth and influence continued to grow. The great news? You don't have to be a billionaire to do this. Anyone, even someone starting from scratch, can begin building multiple streams of income. Here's how. Invest in stocks or real estate. You don't need to be rich to start. Even small investments can grow over time. Start a side hustle, freelancing, consulting, online businesses. There are countless ways to generate extra income. Create passive income, write a book, launch a digital product, or build an online course that keeps making money for you. Turn your skills into an extra paycheck. Are you good at writing, graphic design, or teaching? Monetize what you already know. The biggest mistake people make: waiting until they need another income source to create one. But by the time that happens, it's often too late. So ask yourself, if your job disappeared tomorrow, how long could you survive? If the answer makes you nervous, it's time to take action. Start small, but start today, because the key to real financial security isn't working harder at one job. It's making sure money flows to you from multiple directions. Habit 5. Ignoring financial education. Most people spend years in school learning how to work for money, but almost no time learning how to make money work for them. We're taught algebra, history, and even how to dissect a frog. Yet financial literacy, the one skill that determines whether we struggle or thrive financially, is rarely part of the curriculum. Think about it. How many people do you know who are highly educated, hold advanced degrees, or work prestigious jobs, yet still live paycheck to paycheck? The truth is, a lack of financial education keeps even the smartest people trapped in money problems. The wealthy understand this better than anyone. They know that financial success isn't about luck or even intelligence, it's about knowledge, strategy, and discipline. That's why they invest in their financial education as a lifelong habit. They read books, take courses, seek mentors, and surround themselves with people who understand how money truly works. This concept isn't new. Even in ancient times, the wisest and richest individuals were those who sought financial knowledge. Take King Solomon, for example, the wealthiest ruler of ancient Israel. His success wasn't just due to power but to wisdom. He studied trade, agriculture, and investment strategies, understanding the principles of wealth building long before stock markets existed. He knew that gold and silver could be lost, but knowledge was an asset that could create wealth again and again. Fast forward to today, and you'll find the same principle in action. Look at Warren Buffett, one of the greatest investors in history. Despite being a billionaire, he still spends hours every day reading financial reports, books, and market analysis. His philosophy? The more you learn, the more you earn. But here's the problem. Most people assume that making more money will solve all their problems. They believe that if they just land a better paying job, their financial struggles will disappear. But history proves otherwise. How many professional athletes, musicians, or lottery winners have earned millions, only to go bankrupt? Take Mike Tyson, who made over $400 million in his boxing career, yet filed for bankruptcy. Or MC Hammer, who earned $33 million in a single year but lost it all because he lacked financial education. Making money isn't the hard part. Keeping it and growing it? That's where financial education comes in. The rich don't rely on schools to teach them how to build wealth. They take personal responsibility for learning about money. They study investing, taxes, real estate, and business. They actively seek out mentors and apply what they learn. And the good news? Anyone can start today. Pick up just one book, like Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki, The Millionaire Next Door by Thomas Stanley, or The Richest Man in Babylon by George Clason. Start learning, apply what you learn, and watch how your financial life changes. Because here's the truth. What you don't know about money is costing you money every single day. Ignoring financial education isn't just a mistake, it's a financial trap that keeps you struggling while the wealthy keep growing. Habit 6. Blaming others instead of taking responsibility. Blaming others for financial struggles is one of the most destructive habits that keeps people stuck in poverty. It's the ultimate form of self-sabotage because it removes personal responsibility and, in doing so, strips away the power to change one's life. The moment you point fingers at the economy, the government, your boss, or even your family circumstances, you give up control over your own destiny. And that's a dangerous place to be. Let's take a moment to dissect this mindset. Why do people blame external factors? Because it's easier. It's more comfortable to say, "I never had the right opportunities," than to admit, "I never developed the discipline to learn about money." It's less painful to believe that the system is rigged than to confront the fact that our own habits and decisions led us to where we are today. Contrast this with the mindset of the wealthy. People who build financial success understand that while external conditions may influence their journey, they are never the ultimate deciding factor. Consider someone like Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher. He ruled during wars, plagues, and political instability, yet he focused on what he could control, his own actions, his mindset, and his leadership. He could have blamed the chaotic world around him, but instead, he embraced personal responsibility, writing in Meditations about the power of discipline, resilience, and self-mastery. Fast forward to the modern era, and you'll see the same pattern among the world's most successful people. Oprah Winfrey grew up in poverty, facing unimaginable hardships. She was born into circumstances that, statistically speaking, should have kept her poor. But instead of blaming society or her upbringing, she took responsibility for her life. She focused on education, hard work, and developing a growth mindset. Today, she's one of the most influential media moguls in the world, with a net worth in the billions. The difference between those who stay stuck and those who rise above isn't luck, it's mindset. The habit of blaming others creates a cycle of stagnation. Every time you make an excuse, you reinforce the belief that you are powerless. But the moment you take responsibility, you regain control. You shift from being a victim to being a creator of your own destiny. There's an old saying, "If it is to be, it is up to me." This is the mantra of successful people. They don't sit around waiting for perfect conditions, because perfect conditions don't exist. They take action despite challenges. They adapt, they learn, and they keep moving forward. Of course, this isn't to say that external factors don't play a role. Yes, the economy fluctuates. Yes, policies and regulations can create obstacles. Yes, some people start life with more advantages than others. But here's the thing. You can't control those factors. What you can control is your response. Think about someone like Elon Musk. Regardless of what you think of him, one thing is undeniable. He refuses to let external circumstances dictate his ambitions. He didn't wait for governments to improve space travel. He built SpaceX. He didn't complain about the auto industry's reluctance to develop electric cars. He built Tesla. He could have said, "This is too hard," or, "The market isn't ready for this." But instead, he took action. That's why he's one of the wealthiest and most influential figures in the world today. Now, what does this mean for you? It means starting today, you stop blaming external factors for where you are financially. Instead, you take a hard, honest look at your decisions. Ask yourself, have I been disciplined in learning about finances? Have I taken advantage of every opportunity available to me? Have I taken action, or have I let fear hold me back? If the answer to these questions is uncomfortable, good, that discomfort is the first step toward growth. Because once you recognize that you have the power to change, you can start making different choices. So here's the challenge. For the next 30 days, eliminate excuses from your vocabulary. If you catch yourself saying, "I can't afford to invest," change it to, "How can I find ways to invest?" If you start to think, "The economy is bad," shift it to, "How can I adapt to current conditions?" This one shift in perspective can transform your financial future. Because at the end of the day, no one is coming to rescue you. Your financial future is in your hands. Final thoughts. Your financial future is in your hands. Now that we've broken down the 6 habits that keep people trapped in financial struggle, you can see that wealth isn't about luck, it's about choices. The real question is, what are you going to do with this knowledge? Because knowing what's holding you back is one thing, but taking action is what truly makes the difference. Think about it. Every wealthy person you admire made a conscious decision to break these habits. They refused to be victims of their circumstances. They didn't just sit around, hoping their financial situation would magically change. They took action, they learned, they adapted, and they kept moving forward, even when it was hard. And that's exactly what you need to do. Let's recap the biggest lessons from this video. First, stop spending everything you earn. Money isn't meant to be spent the moment you get it. It's meant to work for you. Start by paying yourself first. Set aside a percentage of your income for investments and savings before anything else. Second, understand the difference between assets and liabilities. A house, a car, expensive clothes, these don't make you rich. What makes you rich is investing in things that generate money. Focus on building your portfolio of real assets before indulging in luxuries. Third, stop being afraid of investing. Fear keeps you broke. Inflation is robbing you of your money every year. And the only way to fight back is to put your money to work. Start small, but start now. Fourth, build multiple streams of income. Relying on just your job is risky. The wealthy create income streams that keep money flowing in no matter what happens to the economy. Find ways to start earning from different sources. Whether it's a side hustle, an online business, or investing in income-generating assets. Fifth, commit to lifelong financial education. Money is a game, and the people who win are the ones who take the time to learn the rules. Read books, take courses, surround yourself with people who are financially smart. Never stop learning, because your knowledge determines your financial future. And finally, take full responsibility for your financial success. Stop blaming the government, the economy, your upbringing, or anyone else. The moment you accept that you are in control, everything changes. Excuses don't build wealth, action does. So now, it's time for a challenge. Don't just walk away from this video and go back to old habits. Choose one habit to break starting today, and one new habit to build. Maybe you decide to finally start tracking your spending. Maybe you set up an automatic investment. Maybe you commit to reading your first financial education book. Whatever it is, make the decision right now and take action. Before we wrap up, I just want to say thank you for watching this video all the way to the end. That alone tells me something about you. You're not just here for entertainment. You actually want to change your life. And that's powerful. Remember, your financial future is in your hands. No one is coming to save you. But the good news is, you don't need saving. You just need to take action. I believe in you, and I can't wait to see what you accomplish. Now go make it happen.